Every day is different. However, I usually check in the morning. My students usually come in around 11 o'clock or lunchtime. And at that point, I'll just see them and make sure that they're all good for the day, make sure that they've checked email and voicemail and gotten back to clients. My students are charged with selling advertising for our once weekly newspaper, our online site, rack posters, and our mobile app. So they come into interaction every day with clients who are currently placing ads with us or want to place ads with us.
I probably spend about half my day in meetings, which I think is actually important because we need to collaborate a lot in student affairs and we can't work in silos. We really need to be kind of the bridge between lots of other departments around campus. And then, whether that's meeting with students or other staff members, and then I'm probably either going to events or just doing some administrative tasks. Going every day is a new day, so there's no typical day in working in student affairs.
Okay, my calendar, I have discovered, is just a suggestion of what might happen that day. I deal with everything from meeting with students who might be in crisis, to helping to coordinate academic integrity, hearing panels, talking to parents who might be concerned about their students, signing travel paperwork, having staff meetings, one-on-ones, but then every once in a while a student emergency, a threat assessment might come up, and that puts the entire day off.
Every day is different for me. As director of the Counseling Center and as Associate Vice Chancellor in Student Affairs, I will see student clients, I will supervise staff, I will be in meetings with other administrators in the division or outside the division. I do outreach programs and go into classrooms and other things, and so every day for me can be very different. Oh gosh, my path was not linear, and it was not typical, I don't think. I got an undergraduate degree in English. I was an English teacher for a few years. I wasn't sure what to do, so I went to a career counselor who helped me sort out my options. I ended up doing a master's in student personnel administration at Ohio State, so I was starting a student affairs career at that point, at which point I got a couple jobs in residence halls and worked as a residence hall director at a couple of different schools. And in the course of my work at Ohio State, I learned about counseling psychology and the possibility of working as a counselor in student affairs.
My pathway through student affairs started as a resident advisor. When I was an undergrad, I was also involved in the hall council. And then I decided I was really interested in this type of work, and I was a psychology major. And so working with people was very, very interesting to me. I then worked my way up through graduate school, doing different types of internships, worked in the Housing and Residence Life as a residence coordinator. My passion was student conduct, and so I really aimed a lot of my interest and energy in the student conduct
I
system.
just celebrated my 10th anniversary with the university, so I'm happy to have been here 10 years. Before that, I had about 8 to 10 years experience in the private industry, writing for my local paper and editing and doing sales for area entertainment magazines back in Louisiana.
I've been here for a year. Prior to that, I was working at Ohio State University, and I've always had an interest in working in involvement in organizations. So when this opportunity came, I jumped at the chance to apply and go work at a different school and get some new experiences. I think it's important to find some good mentors, find people that you can always bounce ideas off of, talk through your interests and your passions and maybe why you are interested in going to the field, and find out if it's just because you like what you're doing now as an undergrad versus thinking about making it a career and something that you could do for your entire life.
It's really important to think about graduate school. Most of our staff have doctorates in psychology, and that's the easiest, well, it's not easy, it's hard actually, but it's probably the most common way for people to get involved in counseling center activities. Occasionally we'll hire people with master's degrees, but it's probably worth thinking about a doctorate.
If
And
they
then-
were to do marketing for their university newspaper and help the marketing team out, I would suggest that they work for their school paper, doing those things, sales, marketing, any type of experience like that. Also, focusing on customer service, so any retail experience would also be helpful. I also would encourage them to hone their writing skills, because no matter what field you go into, you have to have excellent writing skills and excellent communication skills.
I would say that they should get involved in different leadership opportunities through the Dean of Students Office, but also potentially through the Student Government Association that helps connect them to the different campus resources and opportunities to understand a more holistic approach to college life rather than just one specific interest area. And I was just speaking today with one of my staff members. I don't know what I would do with myself if I were not in this field. This is definitely my calling, I knew that it was the right fit for me the minute that I stepped into my grad classroom. Actually, my first year as a grad student, I was with people who understood the passion, who understood we were not going to get paid millions of dollars to do the work that we did, but we did it because we enjoyed students and enjoyed making their college experience the best that it could be.
I think just like any other job, it's gonna, in order to be realistic, you have to know that there are days you're gonna step back and think, why did I ever do this? But for the most part, it's been very satisfying. I've met a lot of students. They've been very inspiring to me in terms of the way they've dealt with their problems and the incredible things they've overcome in order to be successful students. So generally, it's just been very satisfying for me.
And I knew it was a good fit for me, really for two reasons. One, when I could leave my undergraduate institution and still get excited about coming to work every day and knowing that it wasn't one particular school or one particular type of students that I was helping, but it was really helping and working with any type of students. And I also knew it was the best fit for me when I could get out of bed every day and still be excited about coming to work and knowing that I was going to have fun and make a difference in people's lives, and it wasn't something that I was dreading, even though there's parts of all of our jobs that we don't like doing as much. When I'm excited to still go to work, then I know it's the right thing for me.
I knew it was right for me when I was able to interact with the students and work with the students, because after a few years I had students come back and tell me how valuable the experience they got here was to them in their careers, and that made it all worthwhile.